What up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Unscripted Sports Show. I'm your host, MoneyE, back with another MLB Weekend recap and Power Rankings 15 Week 6. And some NBA and NHL playoff talk update, updates of the series and what I think so far. Because it's been some roadkill in NHL, NBA and NHL. But NBA, you got I'll get to that after do the power rankings and MLB recap. It was an interesting weekend with some baseball. It was some good series. So let's see. Start with this. Just want to put this up. No, is it on there? Let's see. Eight, nine. Let's see. That one is due the weekend. It's already May. I don't know why MLB.com still has March. Every time I go to the site and try to do date, let's start with. There was some good series. There's two big series this weekend: Cubs versus Mets, and Dodgers versus D-backs. Let's talk about. Let's see. Hold on. No. Let's do this. Nope. Wrong one. No. There we go. So the Twins, I want to say the Twins and Cardinals are both on 8-game winning streaks. The Twins finish off a six wins, 6-0 week, so same with the Cardinals, and they are both in my top 15 this week because they deserve that. The Twins swept the Orioles and then they swept the Giants. That was another big series this weekend. I guess Twins, I didn't think were this good, but they're playing hot. They're playing some hot baseball right now, and teams go through that. Teams get hot, they win. I still don't think they're this good, but we'll see what happens this week. And it's what Giants. And the Giants are coming back to earth a little bit. I think they were one of the hottest teams in April, and now they're starting to falter a little bit. They were in first place for a couple days here and there, but I think you're seeing some teams come back to earth a little bit. You got the A's coming back to earth. I think Twins will come back to earth as soon as this week. Kansas City is starting to rise again. They're the team that I thought they were going to be beginning of the season. The Orioles are still struggling, but I think they'll get together once they get healthy. They have some injuries in their pitching staff and their lineup, but they need pitching. I mean, Dodgers do too, but Dodgers are the Dodgers. The Orioles, they have some issues. I don't know if they'll get it together in time to make the playoffs. Same thing the Braves. The Braves are missing their two best players, and Strider's injured again. And then I think he only made one start this year, and then he got injured. And then Acuna hasn't come back yet. And I think Acuna might be coming back this month. It's almost mid-May, and he still hasn't come back, but we'll see. Let's talk about the big series in Arizona, Dyers and Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks won the first game in the series. They did split 2-2. Also on Thursday, Tigers swept the doubleheader. Won the combined score of 21-3. And then the Rockies got shut out 21-0 on Saturday. So yeah. They gave up 42 runs and I don't even know what they did. I think they gave up 11 on Friday. They gave up double-digit runs 3 straight games in 3 days. And Thursday, doubleheader, 10 and 11. And then I think 11 on Friday against the Padres, and then 21 against Padres on Saturday. White Sox got shut out by the Royals 10-0. Rangers got shut out 5-0. The Phillies finished off the sweep against the Rays on Thursday. The Braves won 3 out of 4 against the Reds. The Angels lost to the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are all of a sudden hot again. So all of a sudden they're hot again. So let's see. And then this new series started. The Pirates ended their 7-game lead. And they ended their 7-game streak. Cardinals, as I said, on a 8-game winning streak heading to Philadelphia. The Rangers lost to the Tigers 2-1. Tigers were on the roll too. The whole AL Central were on a roll. And on Friday, every team in the AL Central won, including the White Sox. The Twins they all had winning streaks of 3 or more going into Saturday, and then they all lost Saturday besides Twins. And then the Tigers, Royals, and Guardians all have a 2-game losing streaks now. They've both lost. All 3 of them lost their series this weekend, including the Guardians to the Phillies. So the Mets, the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. I thought it was the other way around. Brewers, I think, lost 2 out of 3 to the Rays. They might have got swept. The Reds, I think, lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers came back and won 14-11 against the D-backs on Friday in a thriller game. Ohtani hit a game-winning 3-run home run in the top of the 10th. Monster home run. I don't know if I can show it, but and the Athletics got beat down by the Yankees. Blue Jays not beat down Mariners, but they beat the Mariners 6-3. The Mariners all of a sudden got cold once they reached home. So they come back home and they all of a sudden got cold. The Braves beat the Pirates 3-2. The A's beat the Yankees 11-7 Saturday. Cardinals won 4-2. Rays won again 3-2. Texas won 10-3. Phillies won 7-1 after losing 7-0 on 6-0 on Friday, which I knew they would lose. Reds won 13-9, and then the Red Sox won 10-1. Marlins won 3-1. Dodgers lost 3-0. Twins won 2-1. Mets lost 6-5. Rockies won. Padres won 2-0, as I said. What did they win on Friday? They won 13-9 on Friday. That's right, because I won the parlay. That's right. And then the Angels won 5-2. Mariners lost 6-3 again. Mariners got swept after coming back home. I don't know how that's happened. Tigers lost 6-1. Brewers salvaged the game, 3-game series, and won 4-2. Astros win the rubber match 6-0. Red Sox win the rubber match 3-1. Twins sweep the Giants in 10 innings, 7-6. White Sox win the rubber match 4-2. Rockies lose 9-3 after they were on some books -3.5. Yes, that's right, 3.5. A run line of 3.5. You don't see that. And they lost 9-3. Yankees won 12-2. Royals win 7-3. Dodgers won 8-1. Jays pounded on the Mariners 9-1. And the Phillies won 3-0. And a great performance by Zach Wheeler on Sunday Night Baseball. That's the recap. Now to the rankings. Coming at number 15 is those Toronto Blue Jays. They had a 4-2 week, including a sweep of the first place Mariners. Yes, the first place Mariners. And they're back in the top 15 after dropping out last week as number 15. So they're back at number 15. The Minnesota Twins are number 14, 6-0 week, including a sweep of the Giants in the Orioles? And then Seattle Mariners dropped to number 13 from number 11, 2-4 week. Got swept by the Blue Jays at home. Before that, they were 2-1, so they won the series on the road, and they came back home and lost. Boston Red Sox dropped back to number 12. They had a 4-2 week, 22-20 on the week in the season. And then the St. Louis Cardinals jumped into the top 15. 6-0, also 22-19. They had a good week. They swept the Nationals. Kansas City, number 10. They come back into the top 10. They were ranked number 13 last week. 5-2 week. San Francisco Giants dropped to number 9 from number 6. 2-4 week. The Cleveland Guardians had a 3-3 week. So they stay at number 8. They got lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. Yankees moved to number 7. Had a 4-2 week. Stay in first base, 23-17. Phillies had a 5-1 week, including a sweep of the Rays. 2 out of 3 from the Guardians. 5-1 road trip. Coming back home today. 24-16 on the road on the season. The New York Mets, team that's ahead of the Phillies by 1.5. 4-2 week. 26-15 on the season. Staying number 5. Number 4, San Diego Padres dropped to number 4 and number 3, so they flipped spots with Detroit. 3-3 week. Detroit Tigers 4-2, 26-15 on the season, still in first place. The Chicago Cubs, first place 2-4 week, flipped with the Dodgers, number 2, and the Dodgers are the new number 1 team, back to number 1 at Los Angeles Dodgers, 4-3 this week. Let's talk about the NBA now. So you got the Boston and New York. Boston, New York tonight, game 4. As soon as the draft lottery is over, I'll be doing that live reaction. Me and the Sixers will get number 1. Not getting my hopes up, but who knows. So game 4 is tonight. Boston looks to tie the series 2-2. Yes, that's right. You heard it right. The Knicks won the first 2 games in Boston. Boston came back and won game 3 easily. They look to tie the series, go back to Boston, and take control of the series, and hopefully win the series as the defending champ. So let's see if the Knicks can get a stranglehold and go back to Boston 3-1. Up 3-1, and then the Golden State Warriors, who lost Steph Curry for probably until game 6, if there's a game 6, are down 2-1. They lost a tough one on Saturday night, 2-1. They lost a tough one. Jimmy Butler did what he could, but he couldn't stop Ant-Man. So Minnesota's up 2-1. So they're the only road team that won in game 3. No. They're the only ones that won back to back. Every other series, no, never mind. I forget what I just said. Yeah, so the Eastern Conference, you had both road teams won the first 2 games. So you had Indiana and New York Knicks both won in Cleveland and in Boston. Boston looks to tie the series 2-2. Speaking of that, the Cleveland Cavaliers are on the verge of elimination tomorrow night back in Cleveland as the Indiana Pacers won game 4 last night easily. That was laughable. That was a laughable game. I was watching that, and Indiana just couldn't miss anything, but Cleveland just didn't show up. They got knocked out right from the get go, and they couldn't recover. It's like they just threw away the game. They just gave up after the first quarter. I don't know what happened, but they just gave up. It looked like they quit. It really looked like they quit. So hopefully they show up tomorrow night and send the series back to Indiana, or else they're done. The number 1 seed could be done in the Eastern Conference. And Boston, they don't show up tonight, they could be down 3-1, and you have top 2 seeds in the East go down in the semifinals of the Eastern Conference. Denver, OKC. OKC tied the series 2-2 yesterday in a competitive, hard-fought game, hard-nosed 90s style basketball because nobody reached 100. So it was giving some defensive, hard-nosed basketball that I've seen in the 90s. It was like 90s basketball, basically. And so you got that. So that's it for that. Yeah, so the Celtics look to tie the series. Cleveland looks to extend the series back to Indiana. Denver looks to win a game in OKC again. But OKC, I think, is taking control of the series, and Golden State looks to tie the series tonight, 2-2, going back to Minnesota, and hope to get Steph Curry back, maybe for Game 5, but possibly for more likely than Game 6. But they have to win tonight. Now the NHL. NHL. You have Dallas up 2-1. You have Edmonton up 2-1. I think that's tonight. Carolina up 2-1. That's tonight, I think. And then Florida tied the series last night 2-2. And yeah, so tonight is Vegas and Edmonton, and Carolina and Washington. The East series has been good. especially Toronto and Florida, 2-2, going back to Toronto tomorrow night. And Dallas was to put a stranglehold on the President's Trophy winner, Winnipeg, and go back to Winnipeg up 3-1. And then Edmonton looks to go up 3-1 going back to Vegas tonight. So let's see if that happens. But that's all I have. I'll be going live for the NBA Draft Lottery. So check that out. And check this. Out. And then so that's it. Pretty short show tonight. But I'm going live for NBA Draft Lottery. So I'll talk more about NBA, but pretty short show. So yeah, it was a good week in MLB. We have some good series coming up. Let's see. Let's look at some series. Yeah, Royals. Yeah, Phillies, Cardinals, Boston, Detroit, Guardians, Cleveland, Pirates and Mets, Colorado and Rangers, Astros, Royals, Angels, Padres, Giants, D-backs, and Yankees, Mariners. This is what series start tomorrow. Let's see. Twins and Orioles start tomorrow. White Sox, Reds start tomorrow. Toronto and Rays start tomorrow. Cubs tomorrow. No. Dodgers. Who did Dodgers play? Dodgers play Athletics tomorrow. So that's the series that start tomorrow. But for MoneyE,